Hey guys, welcome back to Two Dudes Talking. Today, we're going to be talking about one franchise, two characters, same person. Joker versus Joker. Hope you enjoy.
So, Joker versus Joker. Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix. Who you got?
Joaquin Phoenix all day. I mean, if I have to pick between these two, Joaquin Phoenix. 100%.
Okay, why?
It was so raw. When I was told about this movie, I was told that people were walking out of it. I'd seen, articles saying that people had left this theater because it was too much for them. When I was confronted with his character, it was so quick that they were being confronted with a mirror into their own actions toward people that are suffering. And I think that gave a lot of people a lot of difficulty, and nobody could have done it like Joaquin Phoenix.
That's dope. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I mean,
that people would be afraid to look at it in real life, so therefore they're not going to watch it in a movie.
To that degree,
yeah,
I don't see that often.
Right.
I love Heath Ledger as a Joker. What about yourself?
Yeah.
And why?
I think they both did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say one is better than the other as far as acting.
Right.
They're both phenomenal. Obviously, they both won the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Heath was supporting.
Right.
As far as movie, they're two different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I like them both for different reasons.
Right.
I can't say one's better than the other.
So the Dark Knight trilogy is great.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite and 95% of Batman fans. I'm not a super fan, but I'd say of people that enjoy a Batman movie, that trilogy is probably where you're going to pull your favorite from.
Agreed.
The Dark Knight, I mean.
Right.
Heath Ledger's role in that, not including, his death afterwards.
Right.
Was so real at the same time as so outlandish. Like, this guy was just bizarre. And I mean, as opposed to some of the, the older Joker was just comic booky, and this guy was scary. Like, if that dude was put in that position, if Heath Ledger there was a person like that running around right now,
right,
with their own very active, we don't care if you know about us, criminal enterprise, there would be a lot of problems right now.
Right. I think Heath Ledger's Joker, as the way it's written, and maybe what he brought to it, was way more charismatic.
Very charismatic.
So you just loved him for it.
Right. Yeah. And you kind of pull for him in a little bit, at
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah. There's parts in Arthur Fleck, Joaquin's Joker, that, like, you care for him because he's presenting you the same problems.
Right.
Obviously. But he's also like, dang, this dude's lonely.
Well, the closer you look at anything, the less gray it is and the more black and white it is. When they spend 2.5 hours on that individual who was unwell, not being treated, and then not being treated well by society.
Right.
It was hard to stomach. I can see how some people would choose to say, no, I don't need anything to do with this movie. I'm going to leave it because blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Blah. I can see that.
Let's get serious for a minute.
Yeah.
Like what you just said, the more you look at a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So in Dark Knight, you don't have to look at how the Joker came to be.
Right.
You get teased by it in his little speeches 3 times, I think.
Right. Very briefly. Briefly.
Maybe even 4. But that's it. You don't have to deal with the stuff that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. You see the downfall.
The everyday slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you can, in real life, dismiss those problems, just like you would any other time. Because it's like, oh, I see that crazy guy on the street talking to the clouds, without a shirt on, just back and forth down the sidewalk.
Right.
you know, I don't have to deal with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you go sit and talk to that dude for
2 hours.
yeah, you'd have to deal with a lot more.
Right.
And so your experience is different. Or let's say the guy is crazy. He's talking to the clouds, but he comes in the restaurant you're in and you have a 5-minute conversation with him. Totally different.
Right.
And you might be like, oh, that's a nice guy. Something's wrong with him.
Right.
Or something's off or whatever you want to define it.
Right.
I don't know what the politically correct thing is these days.
He's touched.
Yeah. But it's like you don't have to deal with certain things.
Right. And they force that into your mouth and make you swallow it hard in Joker.
Right.
I was almost brought to tears in that movie.
There's some tough stuff to swallow in that movie.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm a very empathetic person.
Yeah.
I'm not too sympathetic because I know that everybody does have control of their own situations to a degree. Mm-hmm. They have control of the actions they take from their situations.
Right. Which is hella important.
Which is everything. But dang, I see a character like that, and I mean, it's not even he wasn't the protagonist. I mean, he was the protagonist. He was of this movie, but he was a very, very sick individual.
He's the anti-hero.
Yeah, the anti-hero.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that in a realistic way very often. Because, I mean, why would Hollywood, which is going to paint pictures and put them in our brains, why would they expose the realities of mental health? I loved that they did that.
Yeah, it's a money thing.
I mean, of course it was.
You know, like, do y'all want to deal with this for 2.5 hours? Mm-hmm. Like, most people don't. And it's okay that they don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, it really is. In a movie, it's okay that you don't have to deal with it.
Right.
In everyday life, different story.
You got things to do.
If you don't want to see a movie about it, that's totally
then you can get up and walk out.
Totally
and
fine.
I'll stay over and cry in the corner by myself.
Totally fine to do it in a movie.
So this movie, comparing these two though, it's more than just the two Joker characters. Like these two movies are completely different franchises. I mean, you could remove Joker from the Batman franchise, period, by removing the last name and the 2-second interaction with Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Otherwise, it would just be, you could call it a story of a man on a downward spiral.
Yeah.
And
story of Arthur Fleck.
The story of Arthur. Yeah.
And Is it Fleck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dealing with, not even the characters, but the two movies as a whole.
Right.
He's dealing with a crippled and unwell person. His mother.
Right.
Like the closest person in your life, probably. One of the two closest people to your life. And not only is she not well, but has done some really bad things. Like, I felt so bad for this guy over and over and over again leading up to the end. With Heath Ledger, I just felt happy for him. I was like, you are enjoying this. I was like, I mean, whether or not I like you, is it whether you're a good person, you are really eating this up right now. The scene. Okay, I should back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. For the guys that have not and girls that have not seen these movies,
right?
Do you want to do a short intro or description of
Dark Knight?
Dark Knight.
Yeah,
let's do that, and then I'll do one with Joaquin's Joker.
Yeah. So The Dark Knight came out in 2008. It's obviously the second film in the Dark Knight trilogy, directed by Christopher Nolan. You know, Christian Bale is Batman. Heath Ledger is the Joker. So 2008, very different time in the U.S. This is actually right before Obama's even elected because it's summer of 08.
Right.
So very different time as far as what we're seeing in our culture.
Our social climate was a little different.
Very different. But the basic synopsis of the film is Gotham has, seen this increase of crime through gangsters and stuff previously, but then Batman came. He's kind of cleaned it all up. They're scared to go out they're
Right.
they,
Yeah.
these gangsters, that the mob that
I
runs.
saw a funny meme, like imagine going to try and buy a quarter bag of weed and all of a sudden Batman hops out of the shadows and breaks your arm
Yeah.
and like beats you to
like,
pieces. Yeah, no, that was the Gotham.
So they're cleaning up the streets, but then this Joker character comes along and he's revitalized the
Criminal undertones.
Yeah, the criminal undertones of the city through very sophisticated terrorism in a way. And then that obviously provides its challenges, and then there you go.
The thick plottings.
Yeah.
Yeah, from there.
And so that's the short and skinny without giving it away if you haven't seen it. Good God.
Right. So, yeah.
Sheesh.
I have nothing for you.
Yeah, which I can, if you're not down for it, you're not down for it.
Yep. But if you want to see it, it's called The Dark Knight.
Yep.
So, Todd Phillips, Joker, 2019. Really interesting. So this came off of the heels of A Star Is Born and these two. These two were his first non-comedy movies. So cancel culture got Todd Phillips almost, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna make some more blockbusters." So A Star Is Born comes out, amazingly well received. Joker comes out. This is a much further in-depth, focused story of Arthur Fleck, the man underneath the makeup of the Joker. I would say it's 6 months, 3 months leading up to his culmination point where he becomes the Joker. He switches from Arthur to the Joker.
Oh yeah,
probably about a 3 month time period of a guy with mental illness and a really, really crappy society and or disconnected society, and the things that led to him becoming this absolutely bat crap crazy criminal.
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved them both.
Yeah, there's different things about them. There's obviously the same. They're both this character that's growing up in Gotham City, the equivalent of New York City.
Right.
They are, both against the establishment in a lot of ways. Anarchy, chaos, violence that is not really gory or gruesome or torture-esque or stuff like that.
But stuff that could happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is. I'll take that back.
There's one or two things in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, definitely
that
the
pretty
videotape
rough.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but not like, but almost where it's like, I guess the focus isn't on just the killing or the death of it, but more so the game around it.
Right. The Joker's message in these
Yeah.
darker scenes is,
Right.
hey, I'm gonna lay this out here. You come after me.
Right.
So
needing that
validation.
Yeah.
So we did an episode about Rogue One and how it's the best of all. I kind of associate the Todd Phillips Joker with that.
Okay.
It's extra. Like it's everything extra. Like the hatred for the establishment that you see in all these other Joker characters.
Right.
They don't go into these backstories at all, but you get such a minute, detailed picture of that in the Joker, which I like that extra stuff. That's just give it to me.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix is just so. I think I really. Not only did I love his acting in that movie, but he struggled with mental health himself.
Right.
He has admittedly been through the ropes. And I can only imagine that he was very satisfied with the outcome of this movie, just because, again, it brought light to, for a short time.
Yeah, his Oscar speech was very political and very in line with some of that stuff, which is interesting, take it or leave it.
Right.
Or whatever. He talked about animal cruelty and stuff too, but which has nothing to do with the movie.
But I left that movie feeling like I could do better to my fellow human beings in need, and I wasn't expecting to.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, there's a stuff in reality that is terrible. But there's a stuff in movies that is terrible that is also emphasized or sensationalized.
Right.
You know, like Gotham's just the dirtiest city of the world, you know, the scum of the earth. You know, it's like people might say that about New York. I'm sure they do every day.
Right.
But
it's definitely not.
Yeah. It's like, to some people it is, some people it isn't. And in both, like, in all walks of life. You know what I mean? So I can separate my reality from that in the film as well. But we had put up something on our Facebook page yesterday. You did, saying which one do you like?
Right.
And I had commented on it that, like, for me, the Heath Ledger Joker is an escape experience, and the Joaquin Phoenix Joker is an educational experience. The charismatic, fun nature of Heath Ledger's Joker is so fun to watch because he's so smart. He's so sophisticated. He's trying to prove a point more than get his own way.
Right.
Even. He's not even selfish in a lot of ways.
Right. Burns the money.
Doesn't care about it.
Right.
He's not about your rules or your rules or your rules.
Right.
He's about himself, which is a little selfish, but also at the same time, he's not even about himself in a lot of ways. So he's not going to let you define him.
Right.
Arthur Fleck's Joker, you know, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, very much just needs that approval of society. He is doing things in desperate need of approval of a certain group of people.
Right.
And that is very relatable. That's more relatable to common audiences than Heath Ledger's to me.
See, and that's funny. There's, with the Joaquin Phoenix, he did do so much that seemed escalating, like worse. But in every situation, every scene I can think of, there was a person that could have been better to him that could have changed the plot of that movie.
Right. Yeah, his mother, for starters.
The
Thomas
Wayne.
Yeah. Murray.
All of them.
The neighbor.
Yeah. Well, I think she kind of gets off free for me.
Yeah, she was okay. The guy that hired him and fired him, you know.
The one that gave him the pistola.
So the scene that in that movie, hold on, before we get into the scene, back to just how two they are different and alike, is, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight even says to Batman in that one scene, he's like, I'm not trying to kill you. You're just too much fun.
Right.
You know, it is just a game. And so much where, you know, he does say kill the Batman to the gangster guys.
Right.
But like that, he wants them to do it. He doesn't want to because it's too much
He
fun.
wants to watch Batman struggle against this mess he's created.
Yeah. So it's like he is maniacal, deadly, dangerous, all this stuff. In comparison to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, mentally unstable, don't know what's going to happen with him. Very dangerous, dude.
Very dangerous.
But has no agenda.
Right.
Just needs help badly. Now, the end of the movie, they set it up as like, you know, he's on the cop car and
he is
just loving it.
From the stairs scene, it's going down.
Yeah. But now into scenes in these movies. We talked about In the Heart of the Sea a couple episodes ago. And how it just made us uncomfortable in different ways.
Small, yeah.
The most I've ever felt uncomfortable was in Joker.
The Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker, when the guy comes to his apartment and he kills him. And there's the midget guy who's, you know, the small person.
Right.
Who's there with them experiencing this.
Right.
And it's like, you know, he just kills just stabs.
Mercilessly, brutally murders a man in front of their mutual acquaintance.
Yeah, their coworker.
Right, coworker.
And so you have that little guy, you know, just in the corner fearing this.
Cowering.
Yeah, this maniacal dude who's just like loving this part. And then he can't get out of the room without crossing his path.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fearing for his own life. He's just seen the most gruesome murder ever.
Right.
He's fearing his own life. He goes. Joker lets him leave.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You're the only one that's ever been nice to me.
Right.
I've got no problem with you." But as he's walking by him, he just goes like, yeah, just scares the crap out of him. And then he's like, "No, I'm just kidding, man. You know, you're good."
Yeah.
You know, and then he lets him get to the door, but the door's locked.
Right.
And the guy's so short that he cannot get to the door. So now it's like you thought he was let go, then you thought he was going to get killed. Now he's let go again. Then he's locked in the room.
That moment when he turns around and has to ask for that help.
Yeah, dude. When he asked him and he's like, "Dang, this dude still might die."
Yeah.
It's the most uncomfortable I've ever been in a scene.
I will say, though, that same scene, I'm not going to lie, I have a pretty dark sense of humor.
Oh, it's funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, so it was a comedy kind of scene with the fact that the door was locked after all that.
Yeah, and this guy's reaching it.
Right. But I laughed. I was one of maybe two people that laughed out like poof.
Yeah.
When he jumped out and grabbed him in
Right.
that moment of sheer terror, I was thinking, if I was Arthur Fleck right now, I would have done the exact same thing.
Right.
Like, I just got that. I don't know. But
Well, dark humor is a way of understanding stuff.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the reason actually why you laugh at stuff is because you can't understand it. That's really what your
Right.
brain is saying, that you can't fully understand it,
Right.
that you will laugh at it. That's what laughing is.
I mean, I thought I laughed at it because it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But that's what
but
laughter
that is
is.
what it is. Yeah. Processing.
So you're like, "Oh man, I can't get out of this."
Right.
That's kind of funny.
But no, I thought it was just well done. I mean, it was very uncomfortable. I saw that movie by myself, wearing this shirt. Unfortunately, it says "This is my killing" hoodie. This movie comes out the day, a year to the day after the Batman theater shooting, or 2 years.
What Batman?
Where the guy was dressed like shot all the people in the.
Do you know what movie release that was though?
I'll find out. I think it was. Let me find out.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember the shooting. I just don't remember the movie release that was happening.
Batman in Colorado, 2012. So it was been several years.
Okay.
It was The Dark Knight.
Okay. Yeah.
Midnight screening of The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
Yeah,
2012.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
so I felt more and more uncomfortable as this movie went on wearing this.
Yeah.
But that I just didn't.
Well, quickly explain that hoodie
So this is.
so people know what this is my killing hoodie.
Yeah. So no, it's just my happy. This is my killing hoodie because I'm killing it every day, dude. And it's just so happy and positive, and it's a rainbow, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at that rainbow." Okay, guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just that I didn't know how serious of a movie this was, and I felt very uncomfortable in that situation.
Yeah.
I remember leaving that movie or the actual theater and being like,
Yeah.
because I didn't know how real.
This might not be that appropriate right now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But even the end, speaking about the uncomfortable scenes, I remember almost wanting to stand up and applaud at the end of that movie during the same scene you hated. The one that your least favorite scene, or where you hated Joaquin's character.
Yeah. I thought it was a great scene,
But-
and I understood what he was doing.
Right. But like, you don't vibe with that dude.
No.
And I've
It's like the wrong thing, by the way, is always the wrong
thing. I completely
Yeah.
stand by that.
But the understanding behind these actions is important to have.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I almost wanted to stand up and applaud
Right.
when I heard the punchline of that joke. What do
Yeah.
you get
Yep.
when you mix them up? Exactly what you deserve.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of mental health issues in my life. The service. I sat on a suicide jumper for 7 hours. I sat on a roof with a jumper for 7 hours, and hearing that dude's voice is stuck in my head for the rest of my life.
Right.
I was there when a friend of mine lost their brother in Afghanistan, a 16-year-old child that was murdered by part of a mob initiation. And hearing humans break is awful.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen something in a modern world or in our time period, like our generation, capture that so well. The music, as he's slowly losing his medication, as he's slowly further slipping into mental illness, or it's taking over step by step. Like, I know a lot of people wouldn't have understood some of those bathroom dancing scenes, but like that was that man transforming into the butterfly. That was caterpillar to the butterfly. It really was.
Right.
He was in an emotional cocoon, and dang, he just came out of it hard. That's another very big difference too about these two movies, though, is Heath Ledger's dude was crazy from the second you met him on screen till the second he was gone.
Yeah. But not that crazy.
No, he wasn't a mentally unstable person that now lost that.
Yeah.
He was just
that Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, like I said, is charismatic. He's evil, but he's controllable. Yeah. Even as unpredictable as he is, he himself is in control of himself.
Right. And that's
where Joaquin's is not.
Not at all. But I was so impressed with the 2019. I just didn't see that coming.
That is a great movie, and it's an uncomfortable movie, and it's very educational in the way that, as far as emotionally, educational.
Right.
I
knew what to expect with the Heath Ledger Joker just because I'd seen the first Batman. And I had very high expectations, which he surpassed, I thought.
Yeah.
But again, just it's hard to be prepared for something that you've never seen before. And I hadn't seen it done like that. So I can't get enough.
I don't know if you can get darker.
Yeah.
You could, but it would be like,
it wouldn't be the same mission statement of that movie. Yeah.
It would be just getting darker just to get darker.
Right.
I think they reached the point where it's like the Murray scene at the end, he shoots him. Mm-hmm. It's like, you shot a talk show host on national television and then riots ensued even further that they already were. Mm-hmm. Like, not much darker than that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you felt great about it.
Right.
Like, the only thing he could have done more was like shoot a kid on,
Yeah.
And that's just when it gets across the line of, at least in a film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're both great movies. They're both different movies. They both have different tones. They're both purpose is to be different.
Right. One's in action. The other one's not.
Yeah.
Period.
The Dark Knight is, actually does depict how people should handle these things.
Yeah.
A little bit, as far as like, not necessarily the mental illness of it, because even they're like, this guy's crazy. We can't, you're not going to negotiate with him or whatever. You couldn't love, that's what the difference is too, is like, you can't love Heath Ledger's Joker out of that, where you almost could Arthur Fleck's.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, Joker was, like I said, in control, knowing what he's doing, doing evil on purpose.
Right. This other dude, he's struggling.
Yeah, the other dude, like, if he would have just got that hug from his mom.
I'm glad, I'm glad you said this. I think the most bothersome scene for me with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker was with Thomas Wayne in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Just, if I had been in that bathroom, I probably would have went to jail for knocking him out.
Yeah.
Like, what a piece of crap. I mean,
because Thomas Wayne punches him.
And again, he doesn't know he has a condition and whatnot.
Right.
They don't go, they don't give him that information, but I just have so much empathy for people. And if somebody came to me saying, Dad, I'd be like, yo, we obviously have to talk about something. Not this get out. dismissal. Like, obviously, you need some help seeing some things straight. And, like,
Right.
the lack of compassion. I hated it because I see that every day in the world. Every day.
Right.
To different degrees. You know, but nothing else. I do take it that I walked away out of that movie wanting to do better. I was inspired to do better by that movie, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, Todd Phillips Joker.
There's different, like, you know how you're like that. The purpose of that movie is to do better with those types of people and
Right.
people in general. And talking about empathy, you know, having empathy for this guy who's just gone through the ringer, but it's also having empathy for people that are treating him like crap too.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff going on wrong with them.
Right.
Obviously. Like if it's Thomas Wayne type character and a classism issue.
Right.
You know, I'm so above you because I'm the man of the city.
Right.
You know, it's like understanding how people get to that thought process and healing them through that too.
Oh, I heal him by, if I was in that bathroom, I would have laid him on the ground.
Yeah.
That's how I would have healed Thomas Wayne in that situation.
Yeah. But also, like, how do you prevent that before you have to get to that situation?
Right.
That's important too. But yeah, I mean, they're both great movies. I can't say which one's better.
I don't think there is a better. They're just so different. They're so differently geared, and they were both so great.
Yeah.
Both standout roles. Like, check them out.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, check them both out for yourself. This is
Yeah.
probably my favorite example of these. This versus that. These two characters. It's insane to me that we're talking about the same character, as different as they are.
Two different takes. Yeah.
Two completely different takes.
Like we were saying earlier, Heath Ledger is the escape.
Mm-hmm.
He's the anarchy that people want before they actually experience anarchy.
Right.
He's your fantasy.
He's the poster child they would use.
Yeah, he's the fantasy of it. Like, yeah, let's just rebel and do this and go
hanging
crazy.
out the window all wild with the hair.
Until it really happens. And then you're like, I don't want this anymore.
Right.
And then, but the thing about Joaquin Joker is that's a real thing that you probably aren't empathizing or sympathizing with every day.
Right.
And that you, like you said, would walk away from it before you took the time to
analyze that and or accept that.
Yeah. There's no guilt around it because it's not everybody's purpose or job to deal with that on a very intimate level. But yes, you have to be a better person to people all the time.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Let us know who you like more. Joker, Heath Ledger, Joker, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joker,
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Joker, what's his name? Mark Hamill in the animated series. Yeah. No, but definitely the two that we just talked about, let us know. And then, if there's anything else you want to comment about it.
Yeah, how did they make you feel strange in any ways? Did you walk out of the theater, you jerk?
Yeah, exactly. So give us a like, give us a share, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.